stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to move to accept tonight's agenda for August 24th, 2020. If I may have a second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? So accepted. Marissa, does anyone sign up for community comments? Oh, so move on. Committee schedules and reports. Policy review committee, chair and or what's that for us?
We obviously need the next time. There are some first reads that we're approving today. Covered them briefly last session, and we'll just go ahead with those and continue the regular review.
Next policy review committee is September 14th, prior to our next session. Facilities committee.
So we met with Stroutman and with Buffalo Construction, kind of lay out a plan for the upcoming project, which includes the air conditioning at the IAC and middle school. Put a timeline together, make sure that the architects know that they have some goals that they have to hit in terms of having the design implementation piece done, so that we can get some great costing out. So they gave us a nice spreadsheet timeline. We talked a little bit about the electrical issue at the middle school, which is now resolved, but not without some additional work added to that. So we will be putting all of that into active use since we have the final thoughts on that. When the electricity arc, and I don't want to say blew up, but it, cut itself off. It burned out some piping underneath the sidewalk in between the IC in the middle school. That's where it actually failed, and they were not able to pull everything out of the conduit. So we used the conduit. So there was some additional costs associated with that, but it's an emergency that needed to be done. So electricity is on. Everything looks good over there. We also talked about the capital outlay, and that is in the paper this week. And then we're going to be ready to bid in about 2 weeks, and I think that's going to move forward relatively quickly. And that capital outlay is the art project at high school art team. That's it.
The next facilities meeting is September 15th, and our next meeting is September 28th. Administrative reports. Dr. Ryan, you are.
I'm going to kick off and turn it over to Heather first and Patty. It's really the administrative reports is reopening. So today was a very important administrative team meeting because we are quickly moving toward building very specifically the hybrid model in terms of student scheduling and the remote model in terms of student scheduling. Today, we have a pretty good idea of who is teachers that are not going to be able to work with us. Most of the staff, so we were determining how we were going to be able to use that staff out to facilitate the remote model. I think we have an excellent plan. We currently have, as of today, as I mentioned, we have 301 families, 301 students that have opted out for at least the first 10 weeks of the school year. It's 95 at the high school, 68 at middle school, 75 at IEC, and 62 at the campus. So based on those numbers, we will have 4 teachers, and 2 of those teachers being duly certified, and 1 special education teacher working with our remote learners at the IEC. And we will have the secondary level. We will have 4 teachers and 1.5 to 2 they're going to share some responsibility as special education. Working with remote learners. So, Patty was reaching out to those teachers today that had indicated they were interested in working as remote facilitators. Building principles, then obviously have to look at those teachers, what they teach, and then have to take those students that are currently assigned to them, put them back in the mix, reshuffle the deck so to speak, to make sure that we can bring all of those kids back in. We are able to do for some of it, but not for all. So in order to do this, we're going to need to hire approximately 4 to 5 long-term subs. There's a variety of different certifications in order to do that. Mostly at the secondary level. As you can probably imagine, it's a little bit more difficult to because you have so many different classes, particularly that 95 that the high school students take. So we will need to, for instance, we have a science teacher that in science. We have a math teacher so we're working on that right now to build that staff. I'll let Heather speak a little bit more dramatically, but so we now need to, particularly with APEX, 60 fellow program, we need to take a look at all of those 163 students in APEX, so they have to look at their schedule, see what they're thinking, and how that aligns to the classes in APEX. And so the counselors in the high school especially have to look at each of those individual students schedule by schedule and see how they line up. You can probably imagine a fair amount of work. They're on that right now, they're working on that. Not as dramatic, obviously, in the middle school, but there are elective courses that they have to do where those line up in terms of facts, technology, those types of classes. And so what they'll be doing then is creating schedules for those students. So the goal is by next Tuesday, September 1st, schedules for the newly reshuffled deck of hybrid kids will go out, along with schedules for the remote learners. So the remote learner is going to actually get a schedule to say you're taking X, Y, and Z. This is your teacher liaison facility. These are, there's what headers and the principals work very dramatically on a handbook that is going to go with families in the remote model, so that families have something very concrete. How do you log on? Who do you talk to? How is it going to be graded? And I think we are also, as you can probably imagine, many of the teachers who have opted to do this have never seen either APEX or IXL before. So we are working on developing some very intensive PD that will take place on the 2nd, at least on the 2nd, and possibly, depending on their schedule, 3rd, to bring those teachers up to speed, to allow those teachers to understand. So there's, like I said, 163 at the high school, middle school. Take those 4 teachers, divide by 163, we're talking about 40 kids per teacher, 40 plus kids per teacher. So then once they have their group, so we take those 40 kids, they have to be virtual every day with those 100% remote learners. So I might be a math teacher, but on my list, I've got kids taking earth science, I've got kids taking global 9, I've got kids taking whatever. The goal is to help those kids facilitate, identify problems, and then either try to work through those problems as a teacher, pedagogical or study. But if content based and they can't help them, then they're going to need to seek out help from one of our secondary tutors, put them in contact with them. So that's all coming together. We went over Penny, and Penny's got a great handle on building readiness, PPE, health and safety. We do have a meeting tomorrow with Dr. Ferguson on the same thing for him in terms of expectations around symptomatic students, possibility of COVID positive people. We've had some conversations with him, but I haven't really sat down and said, okay, this is the direction we're going. Now that I've had conversations with the health department and some conversations with Dr. Ferguson, tie that together. So that'll happen tomorrow. It's taking quite a bit to bring this together, but we are moving in that direction. Again, I know the families are getting antsy and itchy to know what their child's schedule is. I hope that they will recognize how difficult of a task this is to create these schedules. I know that the elementaries will have their mailings out at the end of the week, so they're a little bit ahead of the game because of it's a little less work in terms of building those schedules in terms of remote versus hybrid. So hopefully they're out by the end of the week with their handbooks. But we still need to bring those families up to speed with regard to those elementary families that are remote. The next piece we need to do, we need to understand how many of those remote learners and hybrid students, how many of them are going to be not at their house? And are we or are we not able to facilitate? So I hope we still have to have that conversation with families, especially elementary families. We need to know very specifically that we can facilitate. I didn't even bring that up because they were thinking about that. But that's something we definitely need to understand. Where they're at, so that we can understand their technology. Nick Hill is working on technology distribution for the remote learners. Of course, the technology distribution for hybrid kids will take place on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, opening week, calling it the orientation week. Really, the first day of instruction for greens is Tuesday, and the first day of instruction for whites is Thursday. And again, so much of those first few days is going to be just logistics, getting kids to understand what the expectations are. That Monday, 14th, is really the first full day of I got all my kids online, all together. This is what we're doing for this week. Greens, I'll see you tomorrow. This is what the expectation is tomorrow. Whites, this is your assignments. You need to have those assignments turned in by X time on Tuesday, X time on Wednesday, reminding you that that is your attendance for those days. I will be offering feedback on it. Okay? So we have to bring our teachers up to speed in terms of that, to have that consistent conversation so that kind of everybody is doing it the same. We need to have the same expectations for our classroom, virtually, because if everybody starts doing it a little differently, then people start talking about the thanks. Well, why not? I got, they have, and that's what they start to start. So I'm hoping that's not what we have, but we need to spend the first and second with our teachers, kind of bringing them up to speed on the expectations, knowing what we need to do. So, I don't have been into your area, Dr. Lyon, but go ahead if you want to build on what I just described.
First, I want to say thank you to the board members who have been in attendance at the family forums. It really is means a lot to us as administrators to know that you are there and support what we're doing. So thank you. In terms of what Mr. Kasari just said or anything else that you've seen or read, do you have any questions related to curriculum instruction or technology that I can answer? All right, thanks so much. That's what I hope you would say.
Penny, did you want to go a little bit on health safety and everything like that?
So what we did is, and thank you to the Lukis who have been coming in and helping package things. Much thanks to Paul Feathers and Mel Hendy who have been on the front line of shopping and storage and shipping and all of the good things that have been going on. We've had people come in and they're packaging PPE for our teachers and for our students. So all of our teachers, actually all of our staff on the first day of school here for them will be receiving 5 masks that look like this. They'll get a hand sanitizer if they choose. They can have goggles, a face shield, and some of our teachers are getting expression masks if they're working with speech or hearing care. They'll also get a spray bottle of disinfectant and some paper towels to use in their class. All of our children will get 5 that are coming here will get 5 cloth masks. For some of the kids who have face shields or the expression masks, depending on what their needs are as well. But those are really not for the elementary. For our speech teachers and our OTs, PTs, and psychologists, we have some, they're not plexiglass, but they're like the desk partitions, and we've actually ordered a different style of them for all of the elementary classrooms. We've got a lot of cleaning supplies. We've been really stockpiling a fair amount of cleaners and sanitizers and machines and everything you can imagine to try to get things where we need them to be. We bought adult partitions for our offices and for some of our teachers who have asked for them for accommodations. Lots of gloves, every teacher will get 10 gloves. The buses will be equipped with PPE. We have extra disposable masks that will keep the supply in every building. The camera, the multiple scanner temperature camera is already installed at the PEC. We're just waiting for IT members so we can get them in the other buildings. We have individual scanning units for visitors in every building. You can see one up here if you've been here yet. So I think, we're ready to go. Paul is working with one last building on identifying, and actually I call Marty, so it's done, identifying a space for isolation areas. Nurses have their PPE and their face respirators and their gowns and everything is going to move along.
Hey, can you talk just a little bit about, give the board an understanding on what you're hearing from ASBO in terms of the 20% reduction, what's going on with UK?
So initially we found out that there was going to be a 20%, and they're calling withholding.
It's not a reduction, right?
Yeah, they're calling withholding, not a deduction yet. So they're taking 20%, which is 20% of our July payment, which is excess cost aid.
And I want to remind everybody that payment actually is money that was owed to us
from previous year. So it will change our fund balance actually, if we in fact don't receive it. And here's the funny thing, like that year's closed now. So, who knows when we're going to find out about this, and rumor is March that could be wrong too. So that first 20% equals $108,000
on the excess cost.
on the excess cost aid alone. Yes. So moving forward, what I'm hearing is, at first we heard that they were not going to be giving us any UPK money. Then they came out with a statement that said, no, there'll be UPK money, budget accordingly, deduct 20%. And I got an email that says we could plan on deducting 20% from all future aid payments. So what I need you to know is our September payment is really usually a big lump of the lottery money. That 20% of that first payment will be close to $500,000.
The first payment you said is about 2.8 million.
2.45.
2.45.
I need you to know that this is not good news. you know, we have enough in fund balance right now where we can move forward and not have to borrow if they continue to do this, or if they do make it a permanent cut. We are going to have to face mid-year cuts, and I'm sorry to say that, but 20% is not going to be manageable for us.
It's the most disturbing thing that I encountered to this point in this experience, because you know we haven't seen any FEMA money yet. We haven't seen any CARES. Have we seen CARES Act money?
We put the application in, and then they said they assessed all of them wrong, so they're reassessing them again.
We haven't seen any FEMA money. We haven't seen any CARES Act money. In fact, I talked to Senator Orr's office today, and the CARES Act money that was sent to the state, the governor's office is just holding it back. They haven't
So,
discussed distribution of CARES Act money.
and let me remind you, the CARES Act money is not extra funding. It's funding that was already, there was a CARES Act reduction, and then a replacement, and then they told us to share the replacement. So the CARES Act money is actually a negative impact for us.
Right, because anything we're buying with that, I mean, we're going to reduce it. So, I mean, our budget is the same. So anything we're buying is costing us. For instance, you estimated about 400,000 you spent so far.
You know, if we have the teacher salary.
Well, I'm not even talking about the teacher side. I'm just talking about how to save,
Well, how
which is what CARES Act.
So I'm probably up to around 4. Our salary.
Right. It's superintendent of it.
No, we've always had state funding for our education. So we take that money and directly purchase services for it. You don't have to.
72 and a half a day.
Yeah. 142. 142.
I always go high, and
I know you do.
So it's
142,720.
it's actually reduced. It's gone down.
UPK is not a mandated service, so they cut this money. It's like, you know, you don't have to have a UPK program. But that's.
I don't know how do you tell 72 families that you just
That it no longer exists.
we no longer have to play against one house.
And more than that, you know, early education is so important. Early education is so important. You know, anyway.
Well, in the end, we would keep it. Our families would have to pay for the full day, but you know, you have to do it. It's $25. I think the morning program will end up being substantial.
Anyway, that's where we're at with that. I think that, you know, they're saying if they don't get money from the federal government, they won't be able to give it to us. Now there's all kinds of places you're telling get their CARES Act money and share it out, but we don't really know what anyone else is about, if they're talking about it, if they got anything.
That was I think that was a separate. I don't know what you're talking about. I think that has something to do with the fact that they collect sales tax and they distribute money directly through the. It's not like the legislature does not.
We don't get sales tax. They've always had sales
Right,
tax.
they have a mechanism to distribute.
But they
money
keep saying that.
to the county level. There's a mechanism to distribute funds.
So you think because of the mechanism there are taxes?
At the end of the first measurement period, April 30th, we in the town booked 600,000.
No, it was, the first withholding that we got in July was 108,000. That's all that's been posted.
It's just the excess cost.
They withhold it, so the excess cost they take more of it that goes out. So it would have been about 500,000 in that last payment, and they took, you know, a little more than 500,000. They took 20% of that, so it was not a thing.
Great. So if we don't have sports,
I get that
The
now.
governor did announce today that, you know, the possibility of some athletic activity, so, in this spot, in New York State, physical education, health, and athletic association, they have a task force that's meeting, and they'll guidance out to the sections and the leagues. I talked to Brad and I'm on the executive committee. We would have to then meet as a league because, for instance, Kenton is 100% remote. So I don't know where they stand in terms of participation in the league. We'll have to see how it all plays out. But we need to speak as a league. We need to address not just whether teams will be participating or not participating, because then obviously schedules, those kind of things. But then how we will deal with PP, how we will deal with health and safety, how we will deal with spectators. All these things needs to be done as a league, not individual schools. Schools can buy into it. I just the league needs to put out guidelines for the actual school. The governor just behind this. I don't know what's all the low risk and low risk that are open on 9/21, and then what is moderate and high risk. Apparently they made it up in practice, but games. Again, what does that mean? Why would a football player go out and just practice? Not have to, doesn't need to see, you know, safe before we get input and working with them to in all of the schools.
Right, let's move on to our first presentation. Ms. Garrett, you can next with our internal audit presentation. Thank you for being so patient.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me tonight. So today should have copies of the risk assessment that was conducted back in May. I don't know if it's all been distributed to you electronically. So we are here making the risk assessment. And I've gone over the process. Is everybody familiar with the process for our risk assessment?
Actually, the board members, so maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started this process quite a few years ago, back in 2015. And what we did at that time is we met with all of the owners of the significant business processes. So you have people, treasurer, basically everybody in the business office, cafeteria, program manager, as well as CSE, go over the business processes to get a really good understanding of how this process works. And then we evaluate that process to identify any weaknesses in those processes. And then we met with our first risk assessment. Well, every year thereafter, we meet with those same people. This year we did it remotely to go over how those processes have changed and how those change in that process impact our risk assessment from last year. So if the processes have improved, we reduce our risk risk rating in that area. If there are new risks because of environmental risks, like we see in the IT area, we will talk about things we talked about. And this was the risk assessment was done during COVID. We really didn't see any significant change in the business processes during COVID. This was really good news. The other environmental risks could have an impact, things that are completely outside of control. New people, we have a new payroll code, that would change your risk rating for a period of time until they get proper training. So these are the things that we evaluate when we update our risk assessment. So there are 13 different criteria in which we evaluate this. There are 8 people criteria and 5 strong controls, moderate controls, high inherent risk, moderate, and low inherent risk. And we give those a numerical rating. And that's what you will see on page 7 and 8 of the risk assessment.
I'm looking for it.
It's a nice picture. So it's very easy to understand. So that's kind of a picture in all words. So it tells you the green areas are low risk, low inherent risk, strong internal controls. Anything that's yellow is moderate, and then anything that's red is weak internal controls or high inherent risk. And there are some areas on here, you can see a few reds here. Those are high inherent risk because those are your primary financial activities, state aid, payroll costs, cash disposal. And until you go in and test those specific areas, you could have a small weakness that could have a significant impact on those financial operations. Well, that's why those are high. And they're high for all school districts because that's where your dollar is. I'm happy to say that really I don't think there were any, just in information technology, we had one area as high. But really, just a couple of months, primarily in high school. So, the areas that you control, you do very well in. Part of this report, which is in the beginning, talks about some of the weaknesses we did find in your control structures, areas where you can make improvement. Not necessarily areas of risk where fraud can occur. It's more areas of where the error could occur and not get identified timely in normal course of operations. So I will go over those briefly. Cross-training of business office and business office functions. We've done, you have cross-trained in some of the most significant business areas, payable, payroll, but there are other areas that are less significant to the daily operations that haven't been cross-trained. And that's something that Kathy has been working on, especially during the COVID shutdown. She had asked them to start to put together kind of a manual of everything that they do on a regular basis. So if somebody should leave unexpectedly, there's a manual that somebody can pick up and say, okay, this is how I process payroll. Something beyond the computer controls, identification, the double checks that you do to make sure that everything's processed properly, and reports that you do. So that's something that Tabby has been working on. Staff processing. So you have a consultant that comes in and evaluates your process for developing stats and submitting stats for reimbursement. Stats are the mechanism that get to access costs. But they don't ever evaluate how those costs are accumulated and reported to the state to make sure that so that's still an area of risk for you. But the fact that you have some consultant coming in, at least on annual basis, evaluating your process is a really good internal control. But they never provide you with a report that you can look at and read and say, what do we need to improve on? It's really done verbally. And we thought that this is a consultant service that is evaluating the processes. They should be able to produce a report that you can evaluate really how you're doing. The other one is decentralized cash receipts with respect to gate receipts for athletic events. You don't have a reconciliation of the revenue that comes in through those gates. It's really a tally of the tickets that people purchase for that event to the cash that's received. And I've got done internal audits in the past where there were errors and there have been audits. The one school district that for one event they had the same volunteer that man the gate. They never got to use the money for those gates. So this is an area, again, small dollars, small risk. But an area that I think that you can improve on is making sure that you have a calendar of events for which gate receipts are collected. That somebody make sure that you do collect gate receipts for all those events, and that there's a reconciliation of people sales and cash that come in. With respect to the claims auditor, they do a very good job of auditing the claims on behalf of people with education. The one thing that we found out that they weren't doing, they were periodically checking the documentation or quotes to make sure that you were paying the appropriate price. And it's not that you have to do it for every single transaction. You can pay for those things to do that kind of thing. But to do it on a periodic basis, so on 1 or 2 claims, maybe 3 claims every month. Just a spot check to make sure that we're paying correctly with this. And then there were a few within the IT area. Really performing annual risk assessments, vulnerability, penetration testing, and making sure that that's done on at least an annual basis. There's so much going on in the area of cybersecurity. You really need to be very aggressive in this area and making sure that your systems and the systems that you rely on with those are capable of identifying cyber threats and protecting. So that has to do with risk assessments, and then vulnerability situations for which you rely. You do have a poster service with the BOCs. And I think that was, and so do most districts. But they're also custodians of your servers. So they've done some of this work with respect to the district side and how the district collects and safeguards that information. But what about in their own and making sure that they're going to safeguard it? I think that's the piece that's really missing. I don't know that. Actually, everyone has not done they just completed their first risk. No, it's not. It's because they're working with that is important to do. We are projecting some of that on Headlock TV, and probably do some future services with them to make sure that they are compliant with Headlock TV because of the number of softwares that we purchase through them. So that would be something that
So my home is just as good as I today. It's just not something that these were attached to one of your Thursday notes.
I will look through those. I'm on it.
So yes, they are one of the few voices in this region that I know of that is at least making progress in this area. I have to give them a lot of credit. And there's other voices that are regional information that haven't gone as far as the other one is having a disaster recovery and also a business continuity plan. So disaster recovery is a component of business continuity. And what a business continuity plan does is how are you going to continue to operate as a school district if technology goes down? What systems do you bring up first? what's the priority of bringing systems up? So you really need to evaluate and make sure that you have both of those pieces in place. And good school districts have been going into their heads, they need to have disaster recovery. But that's a component of a creative and of business continuity. And then lastly, because we were doing this during the pandemic and so many people were working with it, we had asked about having two-factor authentication processes for your information system. And that was not in place at the time we did this assessment. Something that was to be evaluated including the number of people that would have that were given remote access. Now that would have just exploded. We have a lot of people that have access to the information that you need to have a three-factor authentication work installed. So those couple of last things that we have actually is why the IT area spread out so high in our risk assessment. So to give you an idea, you have a minimum score of 200, 100 points on your inherent risk and 100 points on your control risk. So every area other one is the highest one is 237, and there's a maximum score of 600. So you scored up very, very well in all areas. And IT was at 290. So even with those risks, it scored up fairly low when you talk about maximum score. So phase 2 is an internal audit, which is a kind of a deep dive into one of these risk areas. And most of the districts base the decision on what area to audit based on this risk assessment. Or you don't have to. If there's an area of concern, maybe you can centralize area, even though it has a small impact on school district, you just have to handle on directed footage of people and asking questions. You've done what we call unqualified audits in this area. So step 2 is to evaluate the risk assessment. This is in draft form. Review and make a decision as to what areas should be investigated in internal and the rest of the document is really
I think we look at that through and make recommendations before.
So we talked a little bit about it, and I think that most schools are going in the direction of looking at technology. We're using it so much, it's really being pushed out in people's homes in a very different way.
Factor authentication systems like they're out there, you have to get a text.
So this risk assessment will be released on July 30th. Which is a so I apologize for the over half year. Something in it. But Heather is sending it, they're going to send it back out, so you'll have another copy of it. It's not uncommon. So we do these every year. And the purpose of these is not to get a perfect score, because the purpose of these is really to get better, to look at your own practices, to see where there can be growth. There are some things that we will literally get written up for every time because of the size of our district, the staffing, the minimal amount of staff that we function with. We will always have things like separation of duties as an issue. And we just don't have enough people to separate the duties. So there are some small things that you'll see coming around every year. They assess risk, and we have to determine as a board, as a school district, what we feel the substantive matter of the risk is. So one of the things that came up was, I think, something about our technology closet and who had keys to them. And we felt, even though it was more than maybe one person who had to a tech closet person, why I didn't call Heather, so we don't feel like she's a high risk. Right? So there are those kind of things. We have to take a look at the risk and think about whether we feel it's a real risk for us or not.
It's really a cost-benefit analysis. Is it worth the cost to remediate this risk, or is the risk, in your opinion, so low that it's very low on the priority Really good point, yeah, thank you. So, questions?
It doesn't have the, yeah, I don't have the one with the graph.
I looked at my email and I don't see it, but okay, I didn't make sure it's actually in there tonight. Yeah.
And then I'll forward it to you. The graphic really just shows where we are as a district overall in terms of a point scale. But it doesn't talk, it talks about how we rate as a risk, but it doesn't talk about what our actual risks are. And that's really what I look at, because those are the things we decide on whether or not we want to do.
And that is talking to about is referring, is referred to on pages 3 through 6 of the report. And that's the report that you're looking at. That's probably, but it's probably the, what we call our findings in that discuss. It's not really very good.
And I can't emphasize enough that 200 is no risk, it's very, very low risk. 600 is Roslyn Central Schools.
Right.
We're at the highest number. We do very well, and we act very well.
So we don't, we do risk assessments for a number of schools, and there isn't a school out there that doesn't have some problems. So like you said, this school is overall. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Any other questions? We'll make sure by tomorrow you all have the other report in hand. If you have any questions on it, you can funnel them through Mr. Ritter and me, and then we'll get you answers.
But more importantly, thank you for the next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
So, with the code conduct, we need to look at code conduct here. That's open, 30 days, and then have the board approve the code. As you know, we made significant changes last year, incorporating very much the language restorative practices of code conduct. And I think that was a very positive move in terms of the approach to behavior, student conduct, and our interaction. The subtle changes that we look at with regards to this really represent bringing some of the language that didn't except for the youth policy. So the changes that we made to the conduct, page 9, student rights and responsibilities. In terms of school environment, a lot of the changes have to be under essential partners, parents being essential partners, send their children to school, participating in medical staff, and teach learning, and 6 of the parents, they focus on expectations, counselors and social workers, focusing on nutritional social environment, other school staff, and environmental principles and administrators can evaluate on a regular basis on the children and groups defined, settings, under the student parents code, that school setting. It's like, you know, I'm strategically all of this, so no students, and planning of course, to address the student, you know, understanding of what the experience is studying, school setting. And then finally, under again, it's just really bringing up some of the things that they into the code of conduct, differentiation, differentiating the things that are created, using some focus on both in-person and so we'll leave that up and open to the remember comment, yes.
I'm in for comment to the adoption date of 17.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I am highly impressed with the work that's being done for the new. I think that when I'm hearing from community members, that we put information in the demonstrated deliveries. Understanding the growth and the formula as we speak about it. I just think we're doing a phenomenal job. I've gone to the forums. It seems to me that Jennifer asking questions, personal, that are all in the community, but it's been interesting.
Can I just ask that you all speak into your microphones, please? Thanks.
Sorry. Thank you. We are trying to be as family specific, trying to understand the subtleties of each individual family's needs, but it's difficult. It's good. We try to make it work for everybody. So I hope that people recognize that with a little bit of give and take in order to make it work, that is essential for people to understand. We are trying to cover as much as we can so that all families will be as comfortable with this as possible. But it's difficult.
Again, thanks to the administration and faculty for working through the fluid situation. I also want to thank the families. I have not been able to attend any session, but it's clear that the families are trying to understand what we're doing here, as well as what they're undertaking each individual time. And I think everybody's rising to the occasion. So far, so good. And so I'm thanking the community as well as staff and faculty and everybody for being comfortable with change. Oh, and might I add, I'd like to express concern with Governor Cuomo to release the funds. That would be helpful.
Well, I mean, the response for I definitely want to thank the administrators and all the teachers and staff here for all their hard work on I specifically want to congratulate you guys for being so flexible. I'm going to give an example of that. Someone brought to the attention that while the Thursday, Friday team will get started on Thanksgiving week, and you guys very quickly decided to change them for Thanksgiving week. And that's just an example of how we just constantly have to be flexible, and we are listening, and we're trying to. There's so many, nobody understands how many moving parts there are here, and so they're all up in the air, and you have to put them all back into a nice pile. And to the community, I too really appreciate everyone coming out and the questions that were asked. They were all very good questions from both our staff and our community members. And I just want to really take a moment to say that to the community that everyone needs to touch and everybody sees stuff. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to meet everyone's needs right away. But we need to cut our teachers some slack. We need to cut the teachers need to cut our kids some slack. Everybody gets to really relax and try to get through this best we can. And that's something that I really
Others do us with us and continue with us and continue with us. And now we're also going to turn to salary. I'd like to approve on one, motion on July 27, bringing the board meeting back on. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? I'd like to approve M2, motion on August 10th, second, board meeting by the second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? I'd like to approve consent agenda for financial operations. Item 1 to item 5. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? No opposition. So item 2 is let's approve NA1, policy revision acceptance of the first reading, as reviewed by attorneys as well second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? So carried. Let's move to approve NA2, approval of the template disposition schedule and legal local government records, RGS1, if I'm not second. Any discussion? All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. Let's move to approve NA2, approval of current members of CPSC and CSC committees, I'm not second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. I'd like to move to approve NA4, adopting the fiscal year reviews and department second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. And I'd like to move to approve NA5, approval of the building mobilization systems, department second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. I'd like to move to approve NA6, approval of the open declaration of 2021 speaker, department second. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay. Let's move to NA7, to waive the funding policy, department second. Any discussion?
No, we just, we're able to do that. Because of the fact that the SCD guidance requires us to maintain attendance for all students and to address attendance issues as they arise. Attendance will still be addressed. Yes.
In the calendar, it went out, and it had a limited limitation of days. The 10-day election.
Oh, you mean the information about the policy?
Yeah, right, because we haven't made, obviously, calendar,
So
so.
we're only going after.
Yes, yes, and we, I think we have been discussing that, and I think that's been part of the discussion, but yes. Yes. I'll put it right above the March.
Oh,
Right above the March. Just so everybody's aware, so Nick will be, the BOCES has given us a new March. Appropriate March that has 31 days and is shaded. So we're going to be posting that on. We're going to be posting that online and we'll be emailed so people can, if they have a printer, can print that off and then it'll mark on the calendar. I don't know. Perhaps they may be changed to March and we're only going to 30 days. Now, but we're going to go with 30 days has September, April, June, and November, and all the rest have 31 except November, which has 28 and 29, which is how I remember it.
I do too.
All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. I'd like to move to approve NA8, approval of expenditure for repairs and primary seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. Let's move to approve IP1, recommendation for CSE placement agreements, primary second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay. you, Becky, too. I can get you the CPS replacement matters for the second. All in favor? Yes. Any opposed? Okay, we'll go to move to approve our consent agenda for personnel.
Right, just, I don't know, it's, we have 3 new hires that we're really excited about in our consent agenda.
Sarah Evans is on the line.
Well, hi, Dr. Evans. I'm glad that you're with us. I'd like to welcome you to our Lewiston-Porter family. We're very excited that you'll be working with us as a chemistry teacher at the high school. I'm looking at your background and your experience in student teaching experience that you had at Ski Home. And you rise to the top for our interview process, and I think it's going to be an outstanding addition to our science program. So welcome. And I'd also like to welcome Andrew Sharp. Many of you know Andrew. He was a student here. He's done many long terms with us, many different experiences. Bringing Andrew on as a high school special education teacher, and Morgan Wakel, who you know her dad is a physical education teacher here at the middle school. Morgan did an outstanding job, as you can see from the notes, in the interview process, and we're very excited to bring her on at the middle school as a special education teacher. So 3 really solid hires, and very proud to introduce them to the board and recommend them to you for what supervision reviews.
And Dr. Evans, look forward to meeting you in person. Let's do it at this point, I would need a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? So carried. Welcome to our parents. And at this point, I think to adjourn, 5 minutes second. All in favor? Yes.